Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mediak. I attempted to start this opening 3 different times because I have a funny story to start off with. But usually whenever you say something's funny, it immediately diminishes the humor behind it. But while I was getting ready this morning in the shower, I had a memory that I wasn't sure if it was real or not. But I think I remember about last summer on the podcast. So it's a recording. If it's real, if this memory is real, it's a recording that someone can find, in which I informed you guys about the word goon for the first time. And what goon it was on the podcast? Okay, crazy. That's awesome. One other thing I wanted to say about that was, Mom, I know you watch these podcasts. Don't Google that, like, at all. Don't. It's going to be a bad time for everyone, probably more so me than you, but it'll also be a bad time for you. That was
I would also feel pretty bad just being associated.
Yeah, just being a part of it. Yeah, just don't. Mama Mac, please don't. All right. Well, like I said, welcome back to Mediak. As usual, you got Skylar over there, Chandler up here, and Zach down here. This episode is going to be pretty normal, but we are actually recording 2 back-to-back. So next episode, next week, is going to be a little weird in the aspect that we don't have a news segment or a What We Watching segment. After the movie today, like every other podcast, we're going to go into the news and then talk about what we've been watching the last week or so. But since we can't exactly do that for the next episode because there's not any new news or we haven't been watching anything in the 10 minutes between the 2 episodes, next week we're going to have a game that they actually don't know about, and I'm going to spring it on them whenever it comes about. But this week, we're doing the first National Treasure upon request of my girlfriend. Well, request of Scholar to request my girlfriend to pick a movie, and she couldn't really pick, but we ended up deciding on the first two National just the 2 National Treasure movies. Does anyone want to give a description, or is that on me this time? Because
I can give a 3-sentence one.
Yeah, hit it, man. It's pretty old movie.
It's much easier for the second one. Is much easier.
I feel so.
A 3-sentence summary for this one. Whoa! I have random stuff opening on my laptop. Apologies, Mediak.
It's okay, man. I apologize. I mean, I understand.
3-sentence summary.
I apologize too.
Guy is grown up in a conspiracy family.
Mm-hmm.
He follows conspiracy. He finds treasure.
That's true. That's literally what the movie is. It's an adventure. That's literally what it is. He's just like, I'm a crazy kook. I'm not a crazy kook. End of movie. I love it. My boy Nick Cage, one of the funniest actors to ever do it. What'd you think? This was your first time watching it, both of you guys, right?
No.
No.
The show
I've seen it last many times.
Oh, okay. In our text, what led me to believe that this was your first time.
I haven't seen the second one.
You haven't seen the second one? Okay.
Oh, well, I have now, but no.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously. Was it?
I didn't even know there was a second one.
Really?
Yeah, didn't this gross close to $1 billion or something in the box office? Was it really high? Or am I thinking
The Mummy was really high. I know this one was.
Maybe that was
really
why
high.
because I was pretty excited for the Mummy, and then I was pretty upset whenever.
That sounds good. I was excited for it too because that first one is amazing. We could talk about that eventually.
Yeah, you ruined my experience. Why did you take it off?
The Tom Cruise Mummy, right?
Yes, dude. Oh yeah, crazy movies. You know what? I'm happy you brought that up, Chandler, because we were choosing the Mummy. We were deciding. So, for the context of everyone who's listening, what we were deciding between, what G decided between, was we have 3 weeks before Minecraft movie comes out. So we have a maximum 3 movies that we can watch. She was either deciding between the Mummy trilogy, these 2 movies, or Dead Poet Society and Nobody was the other ones, right? But we all voted on the Mummy, but it turned out the Mummy, you had to pay money for each of them. So then we were like, let's just do this for free on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because most of the time it can be free. I would rather, just because of I need to save for those times we actually have to go in theater.
Yeah, and also yeah, that's fair because you're gonna have to sit in D box and spend $50. Should watch.
I get it. I'm gonna use Chandler's tickets again. It's only gonna be $16 for the 2 of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Outrageous, bro.
But yeah, that's how we came to the conclusion of this movie. I asked this already. I'm a little nervous.
I also watched this with Caden yesterday. He sat down with but with me for both of them because he thought I was gonna get on Rivals and he was just gonna get on and play too. And I'm like, hey, I still have to watch like 5 hours of movies. I can't leave.
So he just
goes,
was like,
"Oh,
I'm gonna trap myself with
watch
you.
them."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And he
Nice.
just watched them with me. He grabbed
Nice.
Vinny. Vinny was not impressed. He fell asleep for 99% of the movie. For all those who do not know,
Sorry.
Vinny is a like 6-month-old wiener dog that my brother's girlfriend has, and she's in Florida, so he's been here.
He's this big.
So he's actually bigger than that now. He's like
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
he's a lawn boy now. Yeah, but Vinny did not like the movie. He fell asleep for basically the entire thing. He liked the ending. He was awake for the very end of this movie,
The
and that
first
was
one?
it. That was the only both.
He was awake
Yeah,
just
that-
at the end of both of them. Nice job, Vinny.
No, he had to wait for just the end part of this movie,
Oh.
but he was through both of them.
Oh, he slept through.
He only liked the ending to the first one.
Love that. Hey, I mean, hey, I don't mind the ending of this movie. I think the ending of this movie specifically is one of the highlights of it. We could get into talking about it. I was gonna say like, oh, general, like, what do you guys think about it? But that's more fun to do at the end. I thought, I love Nick Cage. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out where I should start with this. I love him so much. One of my favorite actors. He can do a really good performance, but I mainly love whenever he goes batshit insane because he's really good at that. And I think he does that more so in the next movie than in this one. However, I do think some of his Nick Cageisms are still there. Like whenever he's pacing in a circle and he goes, "Can you shut up?" Like I really thought he's funny in that moment, or like any of the times he's like running through his brain and trying to figure out what the puzzle is. Like he looks like an insane person in a good way. I love that. My biggest complaints with this movie in specific come at the very beginning of it, and it's whenever he uncovers the Charlotte, how he finds specifically the name Charlotte is the first thing they find, because of course, like that's the most what's the word for it? Like how did that happen? That of any part
This
of the
happened
boat for
either.
him to find, he found the title of it first. That's ridiculous. It would have made more sense if he was uncovering it, like we heard the sound of him hitting it, and then we cut to the title of it, Charlotte, but the entire boat being uncovered. Does that make sense? Because it's kind of stupid that he was.
I just uncovering the name
Yeah,
plate.
exactly. And it's just like,
Bro got lucky with
you
that.
got so lucky. Do you know how much boat there is? A lot of boat. There's a lot of boat.
A lot of boat and a little name. And
Yeah.
you found just a little name and not a lot of boat.
Exactly. But I recognize that that's a small thing. However, my next complaint is like relatively larger. Not so large that I've watched this movie like 15 times probably, and I don't really ever think about it in a very critical way. But whenever I was doing that this time around, it kind of was hard for me to ignore the fact that it doesn't really make sense. No, everyone don't get mad at me if this does make sense. It doesn't really make sense why Nick Cage wants to steal the Declaration of Independence, because he has no reason to believe that Ian is going to destroy it. He says Ian's going to destroy it.
But he never said he would.
Yeah, but
Or
why?
anything.
Ian just said he was going to steal it. So I
Yeah.
just was like, that doesn't
I think
necessarily
just because
make
Ian's
sense.
reckless.
Sure, but like, he could have done it in a way.
equal mass destruction.
Exactly. Yeah. And also he could have stole it from Ian maybe instead of getting himself like criminalized. Yeah, or I couldn't remember the word for it. Yeah, caught, exactly. It just that
I mean, I guess to that point, I just want to stop you there before we move past it. Like he did try and warn them and say that somebody is going to steal it, and they just laughed at him.
yeah, but like
He could have waited until he stole it and sold for him.
exactly, yeah.
With
Because
sense later.
just because the authorities didn't believe him doesn't mean that he needed to go do it himself. Because like it probably was going to happen, or he could have stopped it. Well, no, but he couldn't have stopped it because he needed to find the treasure because he's an insane kook, but I love him. Great guy. Yeah, that's like mainly my biggest complaint with the movie. Try to look through all of it. As a film itself, cinematically, not very impressive. There's only like one or two scenes that I can be like, okay, that's a kind of a cool painting, like at the end where he's holding the fire and he lights it all and it makes it look really interesting. But that's like it. I took points off for cinematography, a little bit of story at the beginning there. I think Nick Cage definitely could have like kicked it up a degree whenever it came to his insaneness, but
I don't know. I really think that he was as sane as he could have been for somebody who's such a ridiculous history buff.
I want him to be more insane now. Like I want what he was in that. We'll talk about it in the next movie, but there's a scene in the second movie where he just goes batshit. Now I just want that for the entirety of both of these movies. Like that. I know that's stupid, but like I've seen movies where he does that the entire time, and I love it.
To enable him crashing out.
Exactly. Yeah. Like just have him crash out the entire time. There's this one like it's been like 4 years since I watched it, but there's a movie where he's like a samurai cowboy in the desert, and he gets his like. He either gets his balls exploded off or he gets like a wire on them so that they will explode off if he doesn't do something. And he is insane in that movie. There's a scene of him like laying on the ground, like rolling around and going, "Ah, my balls, my balls." It's so awesome.
Yeah, that all cut out.
Really?
Yeah, we could read your lip. We read your lips.
Wait, you didn't hear me at all?
No,
No,
he
it's
said
not very,
Oh,
yeah, whatever she says. Yeah.
pause for 1 moment.
Pausing.
You said samurai cowboy in the desert and his balls are gonna explode.
Or they are exploded. It's one of the two.
That makes sense.
Just want to make sure I
You doubt
didn't-
that.
didn't-
Yeah, no, yeah, that's clear. It's pretty crystal, actually, I'd say.
Yeah, I see the vision.
Yeah. All right. So I've said quarrels. We'll go into positive things afterwards. But anything that you guys saw during the movie that you were like, man, not a fan of that
Yeah, I didn't like the plot.
at all?
No.
What? I thought it was
It's like one clue leading to another unit like that.
It's adventure. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yes, it is an adventure, but I don't quite see the. First, I don't like the idea that the Declaration of Independence has a map on the back of it.
Yeah, that's fair. If you don't get a
silly
first, that's if you don't get along with that, that's gonna be ruining.
And then they find all these different things. How did nobody just randomly stumble
Totally.
upon them? One of them was
They did the second movie.
Yeah,
one of
exactly.
them was
That was one of my things. I liked about it.
was one of them in the basement of the library, and like me and Caden were doing a crime count, and they hit like 5 or 6 in the
They did a
movie.
ton. Yeah, but
Yeah,
they come around at the end and they're like, oh, he never was actually going to face consequences because the FBI was actually on his side the entire time. We just didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was little whatever. I kind of rolled my eyes at that until the second movie, but we can talk about that when we get there.
but like, how did nobody who works at the library just find that little corner by accident? And then like you're telling me like because they had to break it, and then there was a grave. And
Which
then
corner again? Sorry, I think I'm merging the two movies in my head. When you say library, I can only think of the Congress.
Wait,
Yeah, if you have
the win? No. Wait, do I have
secrets right now?
Yeah.
Am I right?
The book, the Library of Congress with the president's book is from the second movie.
original. It's how they get into the original dungeon where they get left behind by Ian.
Oh, the church.
Kind of
you
long-
mean.
Oh, the church. Yeah.
Well, I think that makes sense because they had to destroy a grave. I don't think people are out there
Yeah.
destroying graves in churches very often.
Well, they had to destroy a wall to get to. Then they had to pull out
Yeah.
a grave. But how the grave get
With
in?
that is that it didn't destroy naturally over time because it was 400, 500 years. Like,
Yeah,
just-
and
I didn't.
how did the grave get there?
how'd the grave get there? Someone put it there,
Clearly, but like
like to hide
when they were
the
building
tunnel.
it, there's no way that it just was completely fine there to like, oh, it's just a random wall, and like they
no.
didn't like do anything for like testing.
I think they did
And
that
then
on purpose so that they could hide it from the people who wanted it, the bad people.
I guess, but I
did
Was
agree
it?
with that for the most part. The only like clue in the first one that I was like, okay, there's no way someone would have found that is the Benjamin Franklin glasses because they were like, actually he had to take a knife and like scrape out that
let the
brick.
brick look.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
brick.
brick look.
It did have a little symbol on it, but like, I feel like you wouldn't understand what that is or even think to scrape the brick out of the fucking wall. That one definitely, I was like, I believe me, Skylar, I was trying to tear the movie apart, thinking about like how the fuck people didn't find these, and majority of them, yes, totally. And also,
I got everyone.
you have another one? Hit it.
Yeah. So do you remember the scene whenever they actively have the Declaration of Independence and they show up at Ben Gates' dad's house, and the dad and the girl who was really against it is now on board.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of her in either of these movies. Not as a character. I think all of the characters in this movie are pretty stellar. Like, even the villain of this one, I think, is pretty great, especially since he's able to. He's like smart. He's figuring stuff out with Ben, and it's like
I think the villain's the best character.
I like.
Movie.
I like Riley. Right?
Riley's
What? You like Riley? What the hell?
He was so annoying.
Skylar's the killer of all fun and happiness.
Just most of the time.
That's fair.
But the one part that I really did not like was the dad. Like, I really get it, but obviously I understand it's his son, so he's gonna help him. Like, even if he's against it, he's gonna still help. And he's like, throw it in the like oven or microwave. You need heat. And their idea is, oh, let me use my hot breath, because that's the same thing.
I fucking hated that scene where they both together went.
How?
They hated our breaths.
Yeah, I hated that. I think this is the era of movies in which like someone from the higher up was like, the movie can't be interesting unless there's a love story involved. So they just kind of forced something in there. And I honestly think it makes sense having someone from within the government on their quote unquote like team. But I felt like their love was so forced. Yeah, and then especially in the second movie, but again, we can get onto that next week whenever we get there. But I think it's heightened more so in this movie because the second movie wouldn't even have that problem at all if the love story never existed in the first one. My biggest problem with the entire franchise in general is the fact that these mechanisms work or even exist after all this time. It is crazy.
Like they don't rush over anything.
Yeah, like they would like twist a thing and then the door would open up and then close. Who fucking did that? There's no way.
The second one seems more realistic, right?
Dude.
The second one, I can see them working better, but this first one, no shot.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Because they're like they're like not like the, I guess, slight spoilers. Not like the wooden dials that you have to like push. Like, that one might last for longer just because it might be built to just withstand like that much pressure.
Fair.
But these are like levers and little like dials and like rope that's just been sitting for
400 years since the beginning of America.
It's not going to work.
I'd say yes to the fact that it's more believable in the second one because the time gap is only like 150 years instead of 400 years. However,
it's no matter something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that does not work either way. Like, there's no way that no matter what Rube Goldberg machine that they fucking contract, there's no way they're able to do any of that. But there is a point in which I'm able to suspend my disbelief to an extent. Like, the second you look at the back of the map, I mean, the Declaration of Independence, and you are like, okay, whatever. There's a map on the end of this in this universe. I just got to go with it. It's a pretty enjoyable movie, at least to me. Like, I love sitting and watching it. It's such a fun time having these people go on this adventure, seeing these characters that I enjoy going through and doing different weird things, having Nick Cage yell at people, and then eventually like find this really cool like thing that I felt like emotions and shit whenever he actually found it, because I was like, I'm invested in this character and why he wants to find this shit. End of statement. I just found it enjoyable. It did have issues, like, without a doubt, but
yeah, it definitely had issues, but I could see turning off your brain and being able to enjoy this.
You have to turn it off all the way, I feel. Like, it's not like a Den of Thieves, you know? It's not like that. Like, anywhere close to that, I don't think. Oh, also, when he jumped into the water, those glasses should have broke. 100%. Because they're like 400 years old, and he just has them in his little pocket here, and he jumped into the most disgusting lake ever. Not lake, river, ever. That should have destroyed those 400-year-old glasses. I tried to find out what else
I like that whole scene, though. I thought it was really smart that they asked him to go to that ship so that he could blend into the crowd. He had a helicopter there to like disturb the noise and EMF.
And
Something device.
Yeah,
I think that was just really smart and preemptive.
I agree fully, and it was fun seeing the two teams, the good and the bad teams, come together to help Ben. And it wasn't like in a forced way. I felt like that kind of made sense, especially that they both kind of needed each other to move forward. Sorry, I'm thinking about the second movie, and it made me giggle about something that's really
I do have a
stupid
question.
Yep.
Right in the middle. Do you think he's more of a history buff or a better treasure hunter?
History buff. He does not know how to treasure hunt. I feel like a lot of
do some of the most random stuff too.
Yeah, I feel like some of the shit that he does is completely accidental.
Is it?
I don't know.
The way he like
I thought anything
solves
pretty quick.
riddles.
That's true.
Yeah, he solved all the riddles
Well, he
really
just
fast.
Yeah, that's a problem in the second movie. He doesn't ask anyone. Remember, he just figures it out. I did think that was funny. Like one of my favorite parts about the movie, like if I were to think back about a moment in which I had like an everlasting smile, and I mentioned it earlier, but whenever he's just like pacing in a circle and he's just saying random gobbledygook and then eventually says the right words and he's like, that's it. I fucking love every single one of those. It is so funny to me because it makes no goddamn sense. Like, and how does he know just all of this?
Yeah. It's like the most niche stuff. He knows everything.
There's like 6 of them where he like someone tells him something and he just goes, interesting. Paul Revere rode a horse holding a lantern, and then he
you're
did a
talking about-
backflip, and then he told them that they arrived by sea. It's in the sea.
Oh yeah. Okay. For a second, I thought you were talking about like something like the beginning scene in the second one, and I was like, I don't think that happened in the first one.
Right. It happens
But,
in all of them. I just love that. It's just so funny.
I thought too. I took you way
Too specifically. I meant just like in general, whenever he does that, it's enjoyable to me. I'm happy you brought up the beginning though, because I think something that stands for both of these movies is that they just start. It's breakneck. You're just thrown right into it. And honestly, I think that really helps with feeling the length of the movie. 100%. Yeah. Because you don't have this like build up feeling. You're just in the movie. You're going, you know, these characters now, they're funny. You got a 5-minute glimpse of what the story might be in the flashback sequence at the very beginning, and then we're just starting the adventure. I really like that.
I will say I've said a lot of negatives so far. My favorite part was these first like 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I really liked after I just was like, yep, there's a map on the back of the Declaration. The breaking into and stealing the Declaration of Independence was actually like
Fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and I did enjoy watching that part. But I think I also like. Is that the first one? Actually, first. Whenever our female main character.
Abigail.
This is way later on. Huh? There's only one.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's 2, kind of. In the second.
Yeah, I'm talking about the first.
Yeah.
In the later middle, whenever they're running away from Ian, and the girl fumbles the Declaration, she hits the ground, and it just flies across the street. It doesn't roll like 2 or 3 feet like it looks like it should. It flies across the street. It's in the middle of the road, and then Ian just happens to walk and then just pick it up. I mean, I knew he was walking from that other direction because he said it, and you could like kind of like with the images in the background, you can make out that he was on the other side. But it's insane to me that her stumble. Oh, was it a stumble? Yeah,
She just
or like
or whatever.
launched it that far after she had it in her hand on the fall down, and then it hit the ground, and then it flew. I was like, that is this thing made of rubber?
Yeah.
Oh, another part is me and Caden. Again, we're watching this movie, and Caden brought up a great point. He's like,
shocking.
If what they want is the Declaration of Independence paper, why are they shooting guns at his back with the Declaration right there?
Yeah.
I love that part whenever Ben's leaving and he has the Declaration, and I understand that it's bulletproof glass, but as he's getting into it, he lifts it up to block it, and they're like, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, like, oh, all right, okay. What if 2 of those bullets hit in the same spot and destroyed the fucking paper?
Hey, to be fair, they said that is like a
Bulletproof glass, yeah.
yes. So I guess it is bullet proof, not bullets.
You're right. Yeah. I don't know. I just
if one of them just has really good aim.
yeah, if one of them just got really lucky and or unlucky depending on the way you think about it. Damn, I was gonna say, oh yeah, the way that they treat paper in general in both of these movies is disgusting to me. Specifically because they harp on it a lot. Like they're like, oh, you can't touch this because it's whatever temperature. Yeah, and they're like crinkling it up or ripping it out of people's hands. I'm like, you can't say you can't do this in a movie and then immediately do it, because I feel like that takes it out. You gotta either not do it like you're saying, or not say it and then do it, because like it kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, like they originally say it whenever they're at Ben's dad's house.
Yeah.
Whenever they're putting on all the safety stuff, and then like, is it like 15 minutes later they're just hand rolling it up, and then whenever they're looking for the spy glasses, they have the plastic on one side, immediately flip it over and just start using their hands on the other, and like
they're just holding it in their hand while running, crinkled up, just going like. It's just like ridiculous. Like, this is the Declaration of Independence.
yeah, this is apparently the most important thing.
Apparently,
and
yeah.
they're treating it like garbage.
One other thing I like, because we haven't, thinking back on this entire episode, and we've just been tearing into this movie that I enjoy. Fuck, I actually lost the point that I was going to say there, right? Whenever I
have a
point. Yeah, go ahead, yeah. I do like the characters, but it wasn't the characters. It was really something else. Chandler, you could go with yours. I'll think of it eventually.
Yeah. Do you remember? I can't remember the exact moment, but they had derived like a password, and the password was Valley Forge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we remember that? I kind of forget. Like, why
Was that the keyboard?
Because that was her password to get into the... Yeah, there it is. Skylar got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he
right. Because he saw
found the thing and he saw all the letters and he's like, it's a double L.
Yeah, I thought that was smart.
It was super smart, especially since he gave her the coin. Like,
oh, yeah, that
put the stuff on her fingers to find the password.
Yes. I wonder, like, he must have known that he needed to get it into there somehow via keyboard.
Because that was the room in which they were holding the Declaration.
The Declaration?
Yeah.
It was just smart that he knew, like, oh, wait, what if they press the key twice and we haven't considered that?
Yeah.
I thought that was just smart.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy.
I wouldn't have done that.
Consider that.
What'd you say?
I thought it was crazy that the computer didn't consider that.
Hey, it was 2004. The computers weren't that smart back then.
I still feel like they were smarter than than an average person. He's not an average person,
Fair.
but like,
we'll
I
just
still
say,
feel like it should have been a little closer.
fair. We'll say that Riley didn't put in the possibility that it uses the same letter twice. Yeah.
Because like, I mean, even on the thing, they still had like one blank space, so it probably thought that it was the max letters.
Yeah, totally.
That's kind of what I'm telling myself, but
That's what I'm telling myself.
you should have put in something like potential double. Because it is a keyboard. You can't press it more than one.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid of him not to do that, especially since he's like a smart guy. What was there a moment in this movie where he was like, I know something that you don't know, or is that in the second one?
Yeah. Whenever it was the daylight.
The time. Yeah. Oh, I like that bit. Yeah, that was fun and creative.
Wow, I rember so much more of this movie than I thought I ever did.
That's great, man. That means you liked it. That means you really liked it. We love that. The thing that I was going to bring up before Chandler mentioned it was that with a movie that's so heavily America focused, it's pretty easy for it to kind of fall into, whether or not it's on purpose or not, it would be easy for a movie of this type to fall into like kind of American propaganda in the aspect that like everything American is amazing and perfect. Again, please don't look deep into what I'm saying. I love the fact that I live here in America, and I'm really gracious that I have the privilege of being born here and growing up. But we also can't ignore the fact that we're not exactly perfect, but no one is. And I know I'm trying to say it in a way that no one's going to get upset with me, but that's just not possible.
Very easy for this movie to fall into the America's perfect. Everything with America is fantastic. All the other nations are terrible, but it kind of stems away from it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say stems away, but it just doesn't. It doesn't do that. Like it just says American history with a fun twist to it. It's not saying that like this is perfect and amazing and good. Like even in the next movie, I'm not even going to mention this in the next episode, so I'm fine with talking about it. They mention General Custer's like final stand, which is like if you read about it, it's not exactly something to be proud of, because it's just him trying to invade a Native American area, and they're trying to ward him off, and he's just murdering them as they're coming up to him. So it's not exactly like something that I would consider like cool and something to remember with history. And he mentions it. He doesn't mention it as like a good thing. He just mentions it as something that is happening. And I really respect the writers in that aspect, because it is super easy just to be like, oh yeah, America's cool and everything in American history is awesome, and I love that. And so I thought it was, especially for the time in which it was coming out, it was cool that it wasn't super propaganda-y.
2004?
Yeah, I think
7?
2007 was the second one.
Me.
Because me and G were talking about it last night. We were trying to figure out what time frame it was in, because she had I don't even remember what her problem was with it. It was related to the technology or something, and I was like, no, it's not. She thought it was in the 90s or something, and I was like, no, he has a helicopter.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
That was the bullets stemmed you away.
Well, that and phones, and like they had a really big. They were like, dude, phones have cameras now. We could talk about that in the next one, though. It's not relevant to this at all. That's kind of Oh no, I had one other bit towards the end of the movie that I had a problem with, because of how intelligent they showed Ian to be throughout the movie. I thought it was really stupid that he didn't Google the information that Patrick gave him before going to Paul Revere's tower, because like that's what Ian did the entire movie, was Google things and look into things and stuff like that. So the second someone who is trapped and in the place in which you think the treasure is, they tell you a clue, I think you should probably double check that before driving to New York or wherever the hell he went. No, he was in New York. He drove somewhere else.
I guess he did point a gun and say, "Are you lying?" And he was like,
"Yeah." What does that mean? Nothing. It does not mean a goddamn thing.
He died basically. Went.
He was like, "If you're wrong, then I know where to find you." Well, like, why would you want to go to a different state and then come back to this state? They might be dead.
He's not right. He's not driving though.
So, who cares? Who cares? Google.
He's like, "Yeah, he'll drive it, so I don't care. We'll drive back and forth."
I wouldn't have a problem with it if they didn't show him in his little tech car Googling facts like the entire movie. You know?
Really Googled everything but the one wrong thing.
Yeah, and then, well, maybe that was the reason why. He was like, man, I fact-check these guys every time. They can't be lying to me this time.
They're good. They're good.
They're good. Damn, they're good. All right, that was my last note. Sorry, go ahead, Chen.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And he could have just get him to leave like that.
Sorry, what was that?
Like, they told him a false lie, right? To get him to go to the other church or where the building was.
The Paul Revere.
One turn. Yeah, the whole ordeal. I think it would have been better if it almost had an ending similar to the second movie, in which the antagonist was with them.
Yeah.
The entire time. I think stakes could have been higher, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, wow, the bad guy's really now just gone?
Yeah, and he's now an idiot for some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually... I kind of forgot that he left. I merged the two movies in my head from like a couple years ago whenever I watched these last, and I thought that he had that sacrifice moment, and I was like, I can't wait for that moment in this movie because I like Ian, and I think that's going to be a really good moment. And then it didn't happen, and I was like, oh, that was a little disappointing. I was expecting more, but it's not that bad. Like as a villain overall, he wasn't.
I liked him.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
I thought he was much better than the second, but that's something we can talk.
Yeah, we could talk about that next week or 40 minutes from now. But yeah, I definitely had some gripes with the other one compared to Ian. I have no other notes. You guys have anything else to say before we go into numbers?
One quarrel and that's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep the rest of mine for numbers.
Okay.
I didn't like that Ian and Ben split within like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have hung around for a while, and maybe they could have had a dispute whenever they stole. Like maybe they somehow both stole the Declaration of Independence, and then had a dispute, and and then chaos went from there. But it's just like I barely know these characters, and now like they're at odds. Like I want to know more.
Yeah. I'm happy you said that. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think knowing more of their personalities and understanding why they disagree on this specific thing would be super interesting and probably make you feel a little bit more. Because I do think the movie started fast, like really fast. So a little bit more of that would have been really nice, I think. I agree.
Yeah. And then one cool detail that I couldn't notice and I can just remember my dad telling me like years ago. There's a moment whenever they find the treasure at the very, very end, and like there's dust on some of the, I don't know, antiques or whatever that's there, and then like literally the second later, it's all gone. Like they had cleaned it.
I did notice that.
Reshot.
They probably did.
I didn't see it myself, but like I just remember my dad telling me about it.
That's awesome.
And that's in the movie. So
I love small mistakes.
I paused it, and he's like, "Wait,
I need to lick this off."
They want to see the shiny gold." And then he wiped it down really quick, and then he let you hit play again.
Yeah.
And
He
then
wiped it down with his tongue, you mean? He licked down the entire statue.
Yeah, he did. He licked all of them. He went from foot to head. For
Yeah,
the statues up.
With the head, yeah. And then back to feet, obviously.
Yeah. One more time.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he went back up. He just kept doing it like 6 times. They were like, "Nick,
Yeah.
you've been at this for hours. Can we start filming the movie now?" He goes, "One more go."
He turned around insanely and says, "I need to make sure it's perfect." And then
"I stole the Declaration of Independence for this. Let me do my thing."
this is my treasure. Come on.
"Nick, you're just acting." "No, I'm not. This is real."
Not acting anymore.
Yeah.
That's an awesome headcanon.
Yeah, I love that. All right, Chan, you go first this time.
with numbers.
Yep.
I thought this was a very fun, solid watch. And like you said earlier, if you kind of turn your brain off, it's most enjoyable the whole time. And so
You can have your
going to give it a 7.5.
You give it a 7.5.
Yep. That's my 7.5, my 75%.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it's a fun watch. I can't really see too many gripes with it. It's not the most entertaining, but really, like, there wasn't a dull moment which I was like, I need to pause.
I think that's it's entertaining then.
And I would like to bring up the point. Did you fall asleep? Did you fall asleep?
No, the second one. He fell asleep in the
second
second one. We can talk about that next week. Come on, Skylar. Spoilers. As if I haven't been spoiling that episode the entire time.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. You could go next, Scott.
no, you can go next. I'll end it off.
That's fair. I very rarely go into my ranking of how I come up with my numbers on this movie. I usually split it into the 5 different categories. 4 of them stay the same every single movie. 1 of them changes per movie. So this one is cinematography, story, entertainment, and the end. Those are the things that always stay. The one that I added was Nick Cage. That got a 7 out of 10 because I think that he definitely could have brought it up to a different scale and would have been more enjoyable. However, the cinematography, the story brought it down. I thought the enjoyment was really high. I wasn't bored at all during this movie. And I thought the end was fine, was bordered on good, but had like some things that made me roll my eyes a little bit, like the FBI agent being a part of his cause. I was like, all right, okay, like, I get it. you had to make it so he didn't go to jail somehow. I understand. Overall, 7.5. Very good movie.
So I'm just gonna say my number first, and that's for my reasons. I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I did not like this movie. I was so bored the entire movie. I was sitting down and I was watching it for like an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, I'm probably like middle half, and I was 20 minutes in. I was like, I audibly like.
You said 3.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I audibly like.
That's about
my jaw actually dropped. I genuinely thought I was watching that movie for like 90 minutes, and I was 20 minutes in, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I had to take multiple breaks.
I have a question. Is it any way impacted by the fact that you had to watch both of them back to back the night before recording? Okay.
No, because I didn't. I started one middle of the day, and I paused it. And I was like, I need to go get groceries. That's when I went and got groceries. Yeah. The first 30 minutes was like, that was the part where I felt like it was the entire movie. So I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. And I was like, okay, we're like most of the way through. And then I paused and I was like, oh, goodness. And then it just kept going down. I didn't like the plot. A lot of the acting was like subpar in my opinion, and I didn't like the humor. And I'm not a history buff, so I didn't care about any of the facts.
Fair.
So, yeah, these movies were absolute misses.
Hey, spoiler.
Sorry.
Movie, singular.
Yeah. Yeah. The second one does have a different rating, but
Second one does have a different rating for me too.
yeah,
Same.
but I felt like the entire movie, if it was just the 30 minutes, it was probably like a 5 for me. And as it just went on, it felt like I thought I watched this movie for like a week straight. I mean, obviously that's an exaggeration, but it felt 10 times longer than it actually was.
The Rotten Tomatoes score is around 50. Both of these movies are cult classics, which is why they came back and made a TV show for it. I'm never gonna watch that show. There's nothing on this planet I'd rather do less than watch that TV show, because I don't think these movies are perfect, but I feel like if anything else gets added to this universe, it's gonna drop them down like 6 tiers to me. Yeah,
How long do you think until they make that third movie?
never. I hope they never.
Bro.
I hope they to we
know
find
what
out about
Disney,
page
bro?
47.
It's Disney, dude.
Yeah, it's Disney. Yeah, I don't think that show performed well enough for them to be like, okay, yeah, there's still a popular following for this franchise. I just don't think that we're gonna get another one of these, and I'm fine with that because I'm satisfied with it too.
Like, it would have to be Nicolas Cage to like take up the mantle.
Yeah, but he just does anything. He doesn't give a fuck what kind of movie it is. He literally does anything because he buys the most ridiculous shit ever, like a skeleton of a shark.
Yeah, right.
For some reason, he just loves wasting his money on everything. He also bought a T-Rex. Love that.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a homie. Gotta love him. Yeah, I mean, gonna be honest, I kind of expected both of you guys not to like the movie, so I'm happy that at least one of them pulled through. So I'm okay with that.
Hey, you were saying I didn't pull through?
Hey, maybe I'm saying it the other way around. It makes it more interesting when people don't like it, you know?
Yeah, Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler, what the fuck?
Why didn't you let me pull through?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with 62%. That's what the Mediak rating is on it. It's definitely not a perfect movie in the slightest, but you either like it or you don't like it. That's just kind of how this franchise is. It's not one of those things that's like, this is super tight and beautiful, and all cinema lovers must watch this movie. It's just like, if you like a good adventure, if you like a good mystery, you like watching people go from one thing to another thing, Nick Cage screaming the entire time, then it's fine. You'll like this movie. If you don't like that, what?
He didn't scream the entire time.
He screamed 40% of the time. He screams 70% of the time in the next movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Second one, that's a different story.
Yeah, it is a different story. Yeah, well, that's end of that movie. We could jump into news. I don't really have a whole lot this week as for news. One of them is in honor of the final episode of Invincible coming out. There were some talks about the movie that they've been working on since 2020. Well, this article says that the movie has been worked on since 2017, but I have a hard time believing that. Not because it like wasn't popular enough or whatever, but I feel like whenever they say, oh, it was announced back in 2017, that means that they just had the idea for it. They didn't actually start production on it. I heavily doubt they pushed the production of it forward until Invincible actually became popular in 2020. At least in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I would believe that.
Yeah. But they are working on it still. They said another reason why I think that is because they said it's going to be several years down the line until we get it. If they worked on it for, 8 years by now, then it probably wouldn't be several years down the line. Whatever. It's a live action adaptation of the first season, which I also don't necessarily see why we need that, because I do think the first. Yeah, exactly. I think the first season kind of. I haven't seen the third season at all. I haven't watched any of it, but I think the first season is substantially better than the second one, and I don't want this. I know that sounds weird because I do actually really like Invincible, despite what my X-Men video might seem. My opinions on it are. I really, really, really enjoy the series. I don't agree with making something in live action just because some people don't like the fact that it's animated, like in How to Train Your Dragon and stuff like that. I feel like it kind of ruins it just ruins it because it's the exact same story. So why do we need to see it exactly again? I don't know.
Speaking of like live action replacing animated content. I guess this is maybe some minor news. IGN reviewed episode 10.
I saw that.
You know what they gave that?
A 4.
Yeah.
4.
Oh, I thought they gave the season. Wait, I think I read
That
that.
was just like a single episode review, I think, or whatever.
I heard that was like the best one, but I also heard that from
It
like
actually has a 10. It has a 10. It's one of the only 7 shows that I think ever has an episode rated 10.
on
And the episode prior to the finale is a 9.8. So like it finishes on a bang. And this guy who hates evidence, I didn't watch the review. I kind of just watched a little bit of Moist's video, but from my perception, it looked like this guy had nothing to do with Invincible. Didn't care for the genre or the concept whatsoever. And so he reflected that in his review. He gave it a 4. So I don't know.
like I
And do I know what their thing got a 9.8? Wait, is this like 24 out? When did the last episode drop? I'm not sure.
like a week ago.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. I thought it was like on Sunday.
Yeah. It was like
Do you know what else had 9.8 a couple days after the release?
Solo Leveling.
The finale of Blue Lock episode. The final episode has 9.8 rating.
Also, episode 19 of Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah. Is that the one titled Transformation?
No, the maximum is the final episode.
Yeah.
The 19 is where Vegeta fights, and then also Goku does his power up through the 4 different.
19 has funny. Yeah.
The funny? Oh yeah, we were just
Yeah.
like, I won't ever take a bath with you again. That
And he's
best scene in the
instantly
entire
back.
series. Best scene in the entire series.
Me can't agree.
Actually, I'll talk about that. I texted Skylar whenever I found out about this, but Daima most likely is in its own universe separate from Super. Toyotaru, who is, what was that?
But it's canon, right? Said.
Yes, it's complicated. So Toyotaru, who is the guy who does the Dragon Ball manga for the last like 6 years, he's what Toriyama was like. That's his second in command. That's his number 2 guy. He said that while talking to Toriyama about Daima, he never used the word canon. He just kept saying, "This is blank of Daima. This is Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta of Daima. This is Super Saiyan 4 of Daima." He would only say that. And then when asked about where it takes place, the only thing he would say is it takes place after the Buu saga. So Toyotaru is guessing. He doesn't know for sure. He said, if I were to guess, it's a different universe as Super, but it just splits off of Buu saga like GT and Super does.
That makes sense. It's like the third timeline.
4th, because there's the manga, there's the movies,
Oh,
there's
there's the
the
manga,
Super,
right.
there's GT, there's Daima, there's 5.
Well, couldn't the anime and the manga be closely related? The anime's just not caught up. The main is in there.
Kind
Yeah,
of different. If you read them, they're
They-
pretty
they
different.
are.
They're pretty different.
yeah, because they missed. This is spoilers, by the way. Because they missed the whole Goten and Trunks growing up.
Oh yeah. Then also like the Goku
It's
Black
Cell
arc
Max
is completely different. The universe.
So Max Fight's different.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's different in the manga from the anime. So I'd say
yeah,
you're
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Interesting though. Like the second I heard about that, I was like, "There's no way that they're not." I texted Skylar about this too. There's no way that they're not going to capitalize on that and have like a movie where Goku Blue does some sort of crossover with Goku Super Saiyan 4. Like if
Yeah.
that
Also been done in Heroes.
Yeah,
I
it
feel
has
like it'd be
been done in
very Heroes.
people
Yeah.
love that. People lose their mind. I feel.
I do. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Back to news. I have 2 other things. One of them's kind of sad. One of them's not very sad. So we're gonna do it the not very sad one first. So, Kaiju number 8, Sakamoto Days and Dandadan are returning with the new seasons in July. All 3 of them, which is interesting because
Wow.
isn't Sakamoto Days? Didn't that just end like right now?
I think it wasn't too long ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
and neither was Dotadon. That was like 6 months ago.
How many
Dotadon
episodes was that? Chen?
Dotadon, I think 12.
12.
Yeah, no, it ended a couple weeks ago, but it also ended in like a fashion where it's like, all right, where's the next episode? It didn't actually come to resolution.
Okay.
So they must have like paused, I
Interesting.
think. Yeah.
So Sakamoto Days. Oh, Sakamoto Days' first episode was January 11th.
That's like not long ago.
No, that was 2 months ago.
When did the last episode
Yeah.
come out?
last episode.
It's not out yet.
Next week.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's March 22nd.
Hey, I'm excited about Kaiju number 8. We also got.
Oh, I'm so excited for Kaiju number 8. I thought that show was so good.
You seen that movie? I'm not. Looks bad. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it.
Watch the trailer and then get back to me. It looks bad. It comes out in like 3 weeks from now.
I really like Kaiju number 8.
Me too.
And I really
It's a
want
good universe.
It is, but I'm scared it's gonna be like that because I really like the Blue Lock universe,
Yeah.
and I was gonna go see the Nagi movie, and Chandler stopped me. So shout out Chandler for that.
Oh, he's
But,
real homie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I need to look more into it. Like for these ones, I feel like I actually do have to watch the trailers, read about it, and see and gather my full opinion before I decide to go or not.
I think
I
Demon
can't just
Slayer
go
ruined
based off
it.
what it is. Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer made so much money, so now all anime are like, oh wait, now we're gonna pop out a movie so we make a lot of money for the next season. Because
Hero too.
dude, my heroes are good though. Like I like my heroes
They are really
movies.
good.
Demon Slayer, good for the most part. The first movie is good.
Mugen Train was really
Mugen
good.
Train was good. I don't understand why Jujutsu Kaisen is releasing that movie. I think that's really stupid. I don't understand why they keep doing that. Like I think releasing the episodes of a TV show as a movie is cheap and dumb. And
Yeah, I believe that.
what Kaiju number 8 is doing, I think, is honestly worse. Because I'll let you know. You can watch the trailer, but it's essentially a filler arc for the purple guy, and it's him like doing errands.
Wait, the
I'm okay.
purple side.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Yeah, the purple guy that fought.
Remember?
Yes, I don't remember his name. The purple guy. He's purple. He has purple energy. He throws.
Okay, yeah,
knives.
he fights. He
Yeah.
fights the main character.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
I like him a lot. I think he's really cool. I don't care enough to see him buy groceries personally. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I do
you
either.
watch
But
the
maybe they're just doing a bad trailer.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll wait for the
Yeah,
reviews.
I really
and not
think
make
that's the biggest part of the movies. Which grocery store do I go to?
You're
but,
right,
like-
but like it's not in the manga. That's like one of the things that's really bothering me. Like, what's the point of seeing it if it doesn't have any relevance?
Yeah.
And it's different from the My Hero
so-
movies because those actually connect in some way.
They did, and
Yeah.
all of my hero movies are really good.
Yeah. Well, I've only seen 3 of them, but those.
I have
3
two, but I keep seeing clips.
I'm
of
trying not to,
animation
bro.
from
It looks
the-
really good.
It looks really.
It looks really good. I want to
Oh,
watch it.
And to go back, dotted on, the last episode was December 19th, 2024,
Okay, that makes sense.
and their first episode was
That's crazy.
that's the
And it's still leveling, essentially.
I mean, yeah, and the first episode was October 4th, 2024.
So
So that one makes more sense.
in the summer, kind of. The first season.
Yeah, I know.
Like at the tail end of school.
Yeah. But Sakamoto Days has an insanely fast turnaround.
Yeah, what the hell is up with that, dude? People were
That could be bad.
cooking with that.
Yeah, unless they already kind of had it.
Probably. They probably were working on it as if it was a 25 episode season and then they just cut it in half, like with Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
We have some possibly sad news. Title of this article: Everything depends upon the success of Superman. David Zaslav is upset about the reaction to the second Joker movie and is thinking about replacing James Gunn and Peter Safran as the heads of DC. He's thinking about putting Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abadi as the new leaders. They are the head of Warner Brothers Pictures. That's the end of the article, essentially. Like, that's the summary of it. Everything depends upon how good Superman does. Like, full stop for that. I think it's really crazy that he's backpedaling, or at least considering backpedaling this hard off of one movie release. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
But the Joker
Pretty
too.
decent, actually.
Yeah.
He didn't have.
Well,
did James
he
Gunn really have
didn't-
anything to do with
he-
it?
Well, I think that's the reason why he has a problem with it, because James Gunn said, I don't want anything to do with this. Just release it how you want, Todd Phillips. And then he released it how he wants it, and it sucked. And I think this is
Joker
speculation. Yeah. David Zaslav is probably like, James, what the fuck? Make it a good movie next time, or something like that. So,
I guess I can kind of see it, but I feel like a lot of DC's things have been really good the last couple years. Like
but
they had
the only thing that James Gunn was a part of so far was Creature Commandos, basically.
and it was really good.
That's in the new one. Yeah, it was really good. He worked on obviously Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, but technically those were before he became the big guy. The other stuff was he's just dealing with the shit that was left over from the previous rulers. So I think it's kind of ridiculous that the one movie that was released under his watch, like that's the thing that does it, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can kind of see it. You're like, okay, you've done. I feel like you should have more than one movie.
Yeah.
But if you're like, okay, this guy as the head just isn't cutting it. He's only putting out things that people clown us for.
Yeah.
Like he's starting to have like a short leash. So I don't know if they're saying that just to kind of like, you need to, if the movie sucks, you need to like take it over.
Yeah.
But it seems abnormally harsh, and the success of Superman seems like isn't it like relatively soon? Like isn't it already kind of late into?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't it kind of late into the movie to say, hey, by the way,
This needs to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it kind of late?
Well, David Zaslav is notoriously a terrible human being. So like, I'm not really shocked about him doing this and putting this deadline on James Gunn. I just wish that like why can't we have a good DC universe, man? Like this is ridiculous to me. David Zaslav.
We were starting to have a decent one.
We were starting to, yeah, but David Zaslav apparently really hates superheroes and just doesn't enjoy quality content.
Well, like again, we're assuming that it's going to be really bad. There is a chance that it's just really good, and you know he's fine. But like again, like I feel like the majority of the best DC movies are within the last like 5 years.
Yeah. Also, if we're gonna be honest here, someone's gonna get upset with me about this. The average DC movie is way worse than the average Marvel movie. However, the best DC movie isn't even close to the best Marvel movie.
Are you talking about the Infinity War versus probably like the Batman?
Yeah, the Batman or the Dark Knight. It's not even close.
Yeah, I would agree. Infinity War.
Even Suicide Squad is better than all of them, I think. The Suicide Squad, not the first one.
So,
but it's like it really has its lows, it really has its highs.
Yeah. I think that James Gunn's Suicide Squad, it's probably not better than Infinity War, but like, put it up against every other Marvel movie, and it blows it out of the water, in my opinion.
I think the Batman's better than the Suicide Squad.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I just was saying like the next step down.
Oh.
Like even the number 2 or number 3.
Like, do you think like the TV shows for DC are better than the TV shows for Marvel? Because like Creature Commander seems better than all of the ones from Marvel.
Dude, and I've heard the Penguin is amazing. In Marvel, it pops out dog shit.
I like what
That's what I'm saying. I think they're starting to like really kind of like figure it out and figure out what they're really good at.
And now they're getting they're 4 steps up the ladder, and David Zaslav is destroying the bottom of it.
Yeah, he's chopping off the ends.
This reminds me of like what happened to the Patriots. Little, I guess.
Oh, the football team.
Or some.
I was like, what the fuck are you on about?
Yeah, I did too. I was gonna think of like the Iron Patriots.
No, like they just hired like a coach last year, gave him 1 year on a team that wasn't good, and like, we want someone else. So it's like you're supposed to like do your due diligence and give him like 3 years or whatever to adjust what he's been given.
But like some coaches are, like sometimes the vision is super clear that they're not it. Because,
I don't.
That's a little different.
Deal was with him.
I don't think the vision is super clear that DC is not it right now. I think DC can be it.
That's not. I'm talking about the vision for the coach.
Football,
It's super easy to see the vision of the coach and see like, okay, this guy just doesn't have it cut. For a director, that is completely different.
He's not even a director. He's the head of the entire department of DC. It's a different ballgame altogether. James Gunn. He is directing Superman. But he is, Kevin Feige and how he controls Marvel? Yeah. That's James Gunn for the DC.
Oh, and they're giving him...
They're kicking him off. They're kicking him off, possibly, if Superman does bad.
I mean, I guess worst comes to worst, he gets kicked off, and he's good enough. He's going to get hired somewhere else.
Obviously.
He doesn't really...
Yes, I agree fully. I'm not worried about him. Yeah, I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about this universe that I care about and want to be good, because it's not going to be good without him.
No, it probably won't. They might have some niche movies that are really good here and there, but I feel like they need him for majority to be good.
I want a connected universe that's good. Like Marvel had it kind of right. Like I'd say they had it like 75% right. And if they had it 75% right and led to one of the highest grossing movies of all time, imagine if they nailed it from the beginning, you know? That'd be crazy.
That is true. Yeah, because James Gunn would definitely be capable of that.
If anyone.
And now that they already kind of have like the map of what everybody wants from Marvel, so all they have to do is follow like some blueprints, put their own little twist on it, and it's good.
This is the other
Good
news.
dog.
This is the other news I had. It says I got that dog in me, and it says the dog in question.
It's mine Scooby Doo, so I get it.
Yeah, that's the other news I had. I just wanted you guys to know that Jake the dog making bacon pancakes is right here.
Yeah.
Love him. I have no more news, by the way.
So I guess I have something. I talked about I was telling you about it before, Zach, but for all those last week I mentioned how Playboy has to release his album or he'll owe $1 million. He did drop the album.
Yes.
It's 30 songs, and he himself, so he had issues on it, and he was supposed to release it at midnight, but he was waiting because this is just the story. I don't know if this is true or it's not, but he said it took so long because he wanted Young Thug to be on the album, so it took a while. Then he said he had some clearance issues, and then it ended up releasing at 6 a.m. So he did drop. It was supposed to be midnight Thursday going into Friday. So first minute of Friday. It didn't release until 6 a.m. on Friday. And he said himself, 25 out of 30 of the songs are bangers. I think you'll like it.
Why release the other
Caden
5,
said-
man?
That's what Caden said. He's like, 25 are bangers. Give us 25.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe he's just saying that in case some people don't like some of the songs. And then it's like, okay. I've gone through the album at this point.
Skylar's the number one biggest. What's his name again? Playboy Cardi.
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Skylar's the number one Playboy Cardi fan. If he takes off that hoodie right now, he has a tattoo of him across his chest.
Yeah, it's actually him as a vampire.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what that means, but hell yeah, man. Where does this rank on his albums?
So I think it's really early, but its first listen, much better than Whole Lotta Red. Whole Lotta Red, on the first listen, you're like, I don't know if I like this. And then it like slowly grows on you. This album has some songs that I already like. It has like a good mix of like all genres in it. It has like some like stuff that's like similar to Whole Lotta Red. Which I'm like both a fan and not a fan of. I really need to be in the mood. But it has some songs that are really like vibey, that are like ones like We Need the Vibes or something like that. And Rather Lie. That one has The Weeknd on it, and that one is really good. And
Dude, I go back and forth on my opinion of The Weeknd, man. Like
Me too.
sometimes I really like
Sometimes.
Dawn FM, fire. I really enjoyed that album. However, he's trying to break out as an actor, and it's kind of cringe. In my
the
opinion.
stuff he's in though, like
Yeah, it's
that show was really weird.
The Idol was really weird, and I've been watching a bunch of trailers for that show with him and Jenna Ortega, and honestly, cinematography looks really good in that movie, but like, I have no interest in it. It just looks like another weird movie made by this weird guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. He just seems like a weird dude.
But
In a bad way. Weird as usual.
for the album, I would say overall is good. It did take 5 years to drop, but like I would say, if your music taste is similar to mine, I would listen to We Need All the Vibes and Rather Lie, and like those are probably my two favorites. They're a little more like pop-y, I guess, a little more methodical, a little groovy. But overall, it's projected to sell like 685 units,
That's
which is
crazy.
the most, I think. It's like more than Drake by a decent margin. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at.
Can I go first on the next segment because it's kind of relevant?
Yeah, Zach, what have you been playing?
Ooh, is that also? Oh, this applies because I technically have been playing it. I've been listening to a lot more music this week than normal. I kind of go in phases of things, like watching video games, listening to music, whatever. Skylar got a glimpse of what I've been listening to earlier this morning while we were waiting for Chandler and we were playing Marvel Rivals. I started listening. And dangerous.
Sorry, you said Marvel Rivals.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. That like actually shocked me.
I didn't do it this time.
I know you didn't. That was funny. Because I was talking with someone from work. Stark, if you're listening, I love you and I love our conversations we have at work. But
Tony Stark?
No, his name is Stark Bianco. He's an awesome guy who works with me, and he's into film. Stark, don't take this the wrong way. Occasionally, your opinions go on the pretentious side of things, and I thought that this was going to be one of those things because we were talking about Kendrick, and he was like, I don't like Kendrick. I think that the fact that everyone thinks he's smart makes him not smart, and I was like, I disagree with that. I think he's just a smart guy. But he was like, what the fuck was that? Did you just lick your phone?
No. I wiped it off.
Okay.
Sorry. I just held it really close to my face for some reason.
That's fair.
You gotta take a
I
photo.
think you have to glare on it too. I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure, but I wanted to still watch you.
That was really funny. But he was like, I don't listen to people like Kendrick. I listen to people like MF Doom. And I was like, I've heard his name many times. I have never listened to music of his though. So I started listening to what people consider his best album. Food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's
He's
good.
funny.
It's good stuff. When did he die?
I think he's kind of close to Joey Badass, but I don't entirely know.
I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna lie.
That's another guy. He's like an older rapper, I think, from a similar era. It's more like, because he's a lot about like wordplay and like meaningful lyrics, right? I
Yeah.
think Joey Badass is similar.
I just okay. So the reason why I never listened to MF Doom previously, like especially whenever he passed away, was because everyone was like, "Oh, his music's only good because he's dead now," and I just kind of was like, "That's probably true." So I just never listened to it.
I don't like that narrative.
I don't
But,
like that
like-
narrative now either because it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, sometimes, like obviously, whenever a artist dies, any artist, everybody's gonna like look into their stuff, and the people who were fans are still gonna appreciate it.
Yeah.
But now people are gonna fake appreciate it to seem like they were cultured too.
That's definitely true.
Oh.
It doesn't diminish the quality of the music.
It does not diminish the quality. The quality is exactly the same. Like I'm trying to think of a
I know it's
Really good
stereotypical, but like Rap Stitches is so fucking good, dude. Like that song is. I know that like everyone who listens to that album is like, oh yeah, that song is it. But there's a reason why that song is it.
there's a
it's fucking
reason why
good.
certain songs are popular.
'cause
It's
it's
not just
good.
because we're playing.
Have you, Scott? Have you listened to that one, or do you know what I'm talking about?
I vaguely no, I will not say I've listened to it within the last couple years though.
So good, dude. The beat
Yeah.
on that song, it doesn't make you feel like a badass. It like takes you out of the world, makes you feel alone, but in a good way. It's so awesome. It's such a great beat.
I think I think you should experiment with Joey Badass after them. He's also a little bit older. He's not
Yeah.
like so new. I think he is alive though.
Interesting.
Sounds good.
Cool. Next thing, me and G have been grinding away at Castlevania. We have one episode left in the third season, and all 10 in the final season. Fire. Dude, Chandler, how far in Castlevania are you?
Let me check right now.
Because I don't want to spoil anything, and I haven't
Definitely on season 3. At least.
You're not gonna watch it, are you, Sky?
Not soon. so
Okay,
you're
then I
fine.
can say it.
What'd you think of season 2's? Oh, I can't. I
No,
forgot.
no, I'll say it.
Probably-
Spoiler for the next minute. We're gonna talk about Castlevania in the entirety of the ending of season 2.
Yeah. Hell uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was really interesting. The choice that they went with those two.
Nope, that's season 3.
Stranger.
That's season 3. That season 2 is when Dracula dies.
Then what's season 1? I know season 1's that.
No, season 1 is just them fighting in Grescia because it's only 4 episodes. It was like a
Oh,
demo, essentially.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so then I am up to season 3. Okay.
you're up
Then
to
never
season
mind, take
4.
the
You're on the final season.
Yes.
but I
I've
have-
watched all of season 3.
I have watched all of first series of Castlevania and the first season of the next series, so I can't talk about that. Weird, right? Like G, the entire season has been like, I don't understand these people. Like, I hope they're good. I really hope they're good. And like the entire time I was like, gee, I'm so sorry. And then last night when we were going to bed, we finished watching the season finale, like the one right before the final episode. And the judge was being weird, and San Germain was being weird, and the two people were being weird. And G was like, I don't like how everyone has a plan. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing, though, I think. I think that's a really good thing for the writing, because it just is like, ooh, there's tension. I love that.
That guy, you're calling him the judge, right? Like,
Yeah.
one who was like just leading or whatever.
Yeah, of the town.
No. That's so crazy what he was doing.
Fucked.
I can't. It's been a little bit since I've seen it. Was he doing it for like a good reason?
I don't
Or
remember.
Was he?
Because I'm not there yet. Right now, whenever I watched Castlevania, the first series, was like 5 years ago, whenever it first came out. So I have like vague memories of it. I think he's a bad guy, if I remember correctly, but I haven't got there yet.
I wasn't sure if it's like you're doing the bad thing for the good reason, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Dude,
But
like my skin crawled when he told the boy to go get 3 apples. I was like, oh, fuck.
just knew something was up.
Yeah, yeah. Scout, you gotta
you don't
watch
know.
that. This is a great series.
You don't know how terrible that sounds out of context. Just getting 3 apples
Yeah.
means like nothing to me.
I know. You gotta watch the show. It's actually really
I was actually gonna ask if you would, how highly you would recommend it,
It's-
like on a scale of 1 to 10.
When it comes to
I would-
American animation, it's one of the best.
But I wouldn't recommend it before Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I
Yes.
wouldn't.
Yes, because it's shorter.
Yes.
Sadly, I believe that my next 2 are Dotadon and Sakamoto Days, because I
That's
haven't
fine.
caught up for season 2.
I'm interested in Sakamoto
There's
Days.
so
I'll
many
watch it eventually.
respect a lot.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
If you want to, you could wait on Dawn to Dawn because it actually doesn't truly end. And
Well, he
I
meant
don't
like
like
for
that.
season 2 in July. He wants to
ready
get caught up for that.
okay,
I want
I
to be
guess
caught up I like
you
being
wanted
caught up
to-
for the newer releases.
maybe catch up right before it or whatever. I don't know if you like. When it actually has this finality, it's one thing, and then you're like, "Damn, I still have to wait a year." But if it doesn't actually truly end and it doesn't tell you why, there's no 13th episode when you're expecting it. I personally have an ick with that.
I think I
Um,
need to wait and see.
I like
'cause it's hard for me to understand
Well,
that.
speaking about
But
it,
I think Chandler's saying there's not a cliffhanger. I think he just said, like,
Yeah, it's not
Am I
like it's
right?
like, oh, stay tuned.
yeah, it's just like the
okay.
episode's over now.
You could kind of say it does, but it's like all episodes kind of have that. It's what like that. It's like that little cliffhanger to get you into the next episode.
Yeah, but there's always- It's always definitive. Like, if you remember back at the end of season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen, like, when you're watching the episode, you know that's the final episode of the season, without a doubt.
Yes,
There's no
not this one.
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Not this one.
I get what you're saying.
Next thing.
So it kind of left off like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2.
Yeah, fuck that. That's one of the worst endings of a movie I've watched in a
Similar to
while.
that. I'm just trying to think of
Not
something that
Quite like that ending because
The movie wasn't resolved in the slightest.
yeah, yeah.
Way they cut
I
off
don't-
right before a fight scene.
Yeah,
I feel like that Into the Spider-Verse or whatever is it across whichever the
Across,
it was. It throws it. It's throwing part 1 in your face towards the end of the movie. This doesn't. It's just like another episode.
but the thing with I'm gonna small rant. It's not even a part 1. Okay,
It's its own movie now.
It would bother me. No. It's always, that's a lie. Whenever they were writing it, it was Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Across the Spider-Verse Part 2. But somewhere in production, they switched it. They were like, it's just going to be its own movie. But it's not. Like, that bothers me so much. I know that's so stupid and stuff like that. But, like, if you're going to make it a Part 1, Part 2 experience, then market it as a Part 1, Part 2 experience, not as an entire separate movie that has its own narrative and conclusion. Because it doesn't conclude at all. Yeah, like I get Miles is. I'm not even. This is not
Like
part of the
Gwen's.
episode.
The only story that was sort of concluded was Gwen's.
Well, and kind of Gwen's. She had her family stuff going on, but I meant like Miles coming to terms with the fact that he's Spider-Man. Like I get that is what that movie is about. Totally. Like yeah, I get that, but it's also not satisfying when you bring up like 40 different plot lines. Also, if the third movie never comes out, which it probably will, if it never comes out, that movie sucks. It's a terrible movie. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I would agree.
I don't.
If they would have like,
I want more cameos.
I hate the
too,
cam-
but
I hate the
I-
cameos. That's my least favorite part. This is my least favorite part about the movie because they just throw them in there willy nilly.
They got
Unlike the first movie.
Insomniac Spider-Man.
Who cares? Why is he there? Why is he not helping Peter? He has his own Miles. He has his own Miles.
I do think if they would have cut off at the portal, I think it would have been okay. It would have still been bad, but it wouldn't have been as bad as cutting off at a fight scene.
You're right, because then it would have been like, oh, this is a cliffhanger now, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it just,
it did have its own conclusion.
yeah, that would have been crazy, actually.
Like another one.
I'm so happy you said that. That would have been insane. Imagine if he gets to the portal, we see that he's going to a different universe, and then the movie is over, and we don't actually see him enter that universe. That'd be crazy.
And we don't. And then the people will be talking about that because they're like, oh, where are they going?
Like, what the fuck
Why
is
they
happening?
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's gonna be different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the movie ends there, you could just go with the idea he went back to his own universe, and it's fine now.
Zach.
Yes?
What else have you been watching? We've only got to Castlevania
And MF Doom.
and MF.
So I forgot to erase that. I have X-Men still up there, but that's not true. I didn't watch that this week. I've been playing a little bit of Sea of Stars, moving through that a little bit. My boy Garl got poisoned. I had a big complaint about that game was that I thought that the party system was a little bad because I'm about 12 hours into the game and you only really have 3 characters and a handful of moves. However, they just switched out one of the characters, so that complaint is a little bit gone. So I think they did it on purpose, like right whenever the fighting was getting a little stale, they switch it around a little bit. So I was super interested in that, especially since the character that they remove from your party is your healer. So it literally changes your aspect of your strategy of playing the game is completely different after this happens, and it's really interesting. I liked it a lot. Tiny bit of Rivals, not a whole lot.
You say Rivals?
No, don't do it. And then I've been slowly working my way through Space Dandy, and I rewatched an episode of Trigun Stampede because I love Trigun. Trigun's a great universe. If you guys have never watched the original and or the remake, I heavily recommend watching the remake, not the original.
Okay, so remake over original.
Original's amazing, but like it also has pacing issues because it's from the 90s. But they're both really great, I think.
What's it called?
Trigun.
Trigun.
They're amazing. I think if you watch the first episode of Trigun Stampede, you will probably be locked in to watch the remaining 11 episodes because it's fire. It's really fire, actually.
Well, Zach, I have another question.
I have another answer.
What are you looking forward to watching the most next week? Watching or playing the most next week?
I don't know. I'm getting close to end of Space Dandy. I really like that show. It's not at all like the previous Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, but like it's my soul in my existence wants me to say that all 3 of those shows are the same because 2 of them are very similar. However, one of them, Space Dandy, very different at the same time. Like they have like the same kind of vibe. That's just like you got to do what you want, don't care about like your own life. But Spike's is because he doesn't think he has a life that he deserves, so he just kind of jumps into every situation wanting to die. While Space Dandies is like, I'll be fine.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I'm just kidding.
This guy froze for me.
Just for a second there, but it was awesome. His face going.
Yeah, I still see it. I still see it too.
Oh really? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, this guy's just like this. For me.
Okay. That's all I've been watching. We can throw it over to
What have you been watching?
Oh, was that me?
yeah.
I've been watching a couple of things. I think I talked to you all about Karen, right? That rock climbing game. I think I finished. I can't tell if I said I finished it or not.
You finished the demo
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, you said you finished the demo.
Just didn't want to like repeat that, I guess, which I ended up doing regardless.
It doesn't matter. You can see as much as you want.
Okay. Oh, Black Clover.
Yeah, I picked that back up again. I'm like on episode like 150 some or 160, so I'm past the Elven arc, whatever that is.
That's awesome.
And I think I could have watched the movie by now. I'm around that time.
No, you couldn't.
No,
Are you a time skip? Then you couldn't. If you have to think about it, then you can't watch the movie yet.
I have to think about it because I forget so much.
Oh, okay, never mind. That's fair.
So whenever I started picking back up, I was like, oh my gosh, where am I right
Did they change character designs yet?
I think he's still kind of young. He's still
Okay,
young.
then you can't watch the movie yet.
He hasn't really aged, I guess. So yeah, but that was still fun. I need to actually finish that show. I just
What do
I
you
just
think
feel that
about
it kind
the
of fell
leaks?
off.
No, I think it picks up. I think it only gets better because I wrote a 10-page paper in my freshman year of college about how well written the elf arc is in Black Clover because of the classism and the racism and how well both of those two aspects are woven together into that story. Peak. But the following story is so much better.
The one right after the elf arc.
Yeah, there's only really two stories in Black Clover. There's two main arcs. The following arc is a banger.
I have anything to do with like the Heart or Spade Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at that point where like there was that all those people were like migrating or whatever.
Okay, so you are past time skip. You just haven't seen Asta yet.
They just resolved that though. Asta is there.
Did he arrive and catch his sword? That's the scene where he comes back after time skip.
He just got his book back.
I don't know where you are. Did they have the courtroom?
Yes.
Oh, you should be past time skip then. I'm so confused.
See, it's been a
where
while.
are you
I only
at?
watched-
Me, I have not been much further.
Are you-
I'm not gonna lie. All of my energy has been poured into One Piece.
That's valid. Are you in the elf arc?
4 years through chapters.
No.
You're past elf arc? Okay.
No, I think I'm 4.
There's a fight against a guy named Dante. Whenever you meet him, shit.
Chapter 40.
Oh, okay. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, I'm technically on 41, but like I've maybe read. I guess I'm at the end of 41. I've maybe read like 10 pages since last.
How many episodes do they fit into a chapter?
Like two chapters to an episode usually, depending on filler.
Then you're pretty far, Sky. I was gonna say it took me like actually 40 episodes to like the show.
That's fair.
No,
I
I
just
like
remember
it.
it
It's very Naruto-y, so I kind of like
Well,
it.
the only issue, Sky, is that you didn't hear Asta's like screaming.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, it's his horror.
His voice actor
actually
sucks.
Yeah. It takes him 40 episodes to lock in and like not be himself.
I read the manga first because
I feel like
of that reason.
I feel like I'm more than inclined to say where I'm at.
Yeah, definitely.
The one guy who likes his sister a lot. His sister just got kidnapped. You're in a cave trying to get him back.
Oh, that's a dude.
Wow, you're really
yeah.
far.
You're nowhere close to the end of the elf arc.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not that far in.
No, you have like probably 40 chapters until you even get to the final climax of the elf arc.
But still, where you're at's a good
Okay.
spot. Like
Yeah.
that's whenever stuff starting to happen.
Yeah.
He was actually intrigued by then.
Dude, Chandler, you're pretty close to it, I'm pretty sure. But when you see a guy named Dante, your life is going to change. Because there is a really amazing fight. I'm not going to say who's in it because that kind of is a spoiler. But with the guy named Dante, there is arguably one of my favorite fights in anime and probably my most rewatched fight.
Really? Is this Dante figure? Is he on the cover?
Of the book.
Black. Like no, it's just like the anime has always been a certain like poster for me, and I assume that's just because it's like this most recent arc.
Can you show me it?
I
I would say no. If he's bony, that's Dante's not the final boss, but they do like a fight to show how strong the new villains are, and like Dante's like a middle of the tier villain, and it's a really cool fight.
It's this. Right.
Well, dude, this is a lot. We should. Never mind. We'll do this later. Chandler, you got to keep going. We're almost an hour and 30 into this episode. Chandler has to leave.
Okay. Two things. Parasite. I watched Parasite
Which one?
because we were talking about it. The one by
Bon Joon-ho? Okay.
Bon Joon-ho. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I was not expecting that. It was almost like I was just getting so much, not cringe, but actual stress. I was stressing for the main family. They put themselves in some tricky scenarios.
Great movie.
And just how it actually resolves at the very end, full circle, like,
I know. It's
That
one
was
of-
crazy.
It's one of the goats. It really.
And then they debate you at the very end. They debate
Yes.
you. It's like, not yet. Yeah,
It's so good. It's such a good movie.
Right. It is crazy.
We got to do that on the podcast one of these days. We did it a really long time ago in the before era. But yeah, we should do that one of these times. Force Higgins to watch it.
This guy there, because now the screen's black for me.
Nice, just chilling.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I'm sitting playing with his little string.
Maybe I need to leave and rejoin because it's just
No, we could do that after the episode or in between time because I have to brush my teeth.
And lastly,
why did I say that on air?
I don't know.
If it means anything, I have to brush my teeth too. So.
Okay.
I watched.
For context, we started recording at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
so it's not weird this time.
I promise our hygiene's not bad.
Yeah.
Invincible 3, I watched that in the span of 2 days.
Nice.
So my buddies wanted to watch it. We watched it one night till 3 a.m. I had homework the following day to watch 2 episodes, and then we stayed up till 5 a.m. watching the finale.
Nice.
I don't know why we did that.
Do you think it's the best season?
Definitely better than season 2, but like there are some things that we actually detested,
Dude.
Things that we didn't agree with. But I will say, 7 and 8 are some peak episodes.
Yes,
very peak.
That's how it usually goes. I have I say a lot of bad things about Invincible. I just want everyone to know that I do like the show. I just think that you should be able to criticize things that you enjoy, or it won't ever get better. You know, at least that's how I feel.
They'll be complacent, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that whenever I say that the animation's bad or there's like some story thing I don't like, that's not me saying I don't like the show. That's me saying that I wish these things were slightly improved so that I like the show even more. I liked season 2 overall, but there was a lot of stuff about it that I wasn't the biggest fan of. And I remember I gave it an 8 in my video, but I remember thinking to myself, it's probably a 7 or a 6.5, but I'm too scared to go lower because I know people will get upset with it. So I will give it an 8.
Yeah.
A little behind the scenes there.
I really did like this season. The writing's really strong. The animation really doesn't change so much, except for the final episode. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. It's almost like a Blue Lock scenario where they like spent all the budget of that last episode.
Cassie says that. And here's the thing, okay? I understand that approach. Like people saying, oh, these episodes are bad so that the other episodes are going to be better. But if there's only 8 per season and you're not releasing it on a consistent weekly basis in which you need filler or bad animation, you shouldn't release the season at all until it looks good. At all.
I agree.
Especially
it is hour-long episodes, like 50 to an hour-long episodes. So like maybe think of it as 2.5
totally
for each actual episode. So it is more than the 8 that we're being given if we wanted to put it in anime context.
I do agree with that. But like the average, look at Jujutsu Kaisen, 25 episodes per season. I know that they are having terrible working conditions, and that's horrible, obviously. But like there are other shows that don't have horrible working conditions and look amazing, and they just took the time and effort and money needed to do that. Especially like TMNT, that was very good, really high animation, and they released it whenever they wanted to. It's an IP that everyone knows and likes, like Invincible. Wait until it's good. Why don't you want to release something that's good? Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, small rant. It's done.
But it's money, bro. It's money.
But they could get
they gotta release.
They could get more money if it's good. See, people forget about the rewatchability of it. Like,
yeah,
no one's gonna
they
watch
want money now. Bro.
Exactly.
It's like that's the only thing going on in their minds.
No one's gonna watch episode 4 of Invincible season 1. Like, what the fuck? People are gonna watch 7 and 8 because they're well animated. Wouldn't it be cool if people rewatched all of the episodes because of the animation quality?
It would be, bro. But even just the quality, like, there's actually some reasons why I don't want to go back and watch some parts of the show. Some things are actually frustrating and irritating. But yeah.
Sorry.
Do you wanna ask the next question?
3, 2, 1. Sky. What have you been watching? Nailed it this time. We didn't say Sky at the same time, but the second half of it, we killed it.
Okay, we locked in for that. I'm just gonna pretend like I can see what you're saying, Sky, but it's just pitch black for me, so I'm sorry.
When we end the episode, you can leave and rejoin.
On mine, and last week for me was a lot of my midterms and my stuff was like my 8-week classes were wrapping up, so not a ton of time to watch a lot. but I don't know if I said it last week, but I did hit Gear 5. I was going to text you. I didn't think so, but I've hit Gear 5. And I was going to text you to put up a little like community post to say I hit my goal. And
sorry, keep going. I was singing the One Piece theme.
Strike.
And
yeah, Chen.
I'm now on 1076 is my next episode, so I'm getting pretty close to wrapping up.
Do you see?
I know.
Did you see the lightning?
Wait, when he grabbed it?
Yeah, and you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Right
So
back
creative.
now.
He bounces across the different bolts and then hits him. It's dude, when he swings around Onigashima and kicks Kaido, one of the best animated sequences ever. Fucking awesome.
I think my favorite's whenever he grabs like part of Onigashima and like whips it over, and then he like does like through, and then he gets like the 3 angles.
It's so cool. Dude, everything about that is so
classic.
awesome.
And then the random frames where he actually looks evil.
Yeah.
It's just randomly thrown in.
Yeah, right after the moment where he kicks Kaido and he teleports behind him and he has the glowing red eyes and he's about to nail him into the ground. Peak.
Yes, it's fantastic. This power is everything I wanted and more.
We can't go into it because Shan isn't there yet, but like,
Yeah.
but
Well, I probably already said too much, but
anyone,
whenever you get to those moments, you'll understand. I've listened to the Drums of Liberation, I think 10 times since. It's just fantastic. It gets me so insanely hyped for no reason. Well, for a good reason, but
I wasn't into the reincarnation like plot line all that much. Like until that, I was like, oh,
it's fine. I like it.
I like it now. Like I like it now because before I was like, oh, that's kind of lame because it means that they don't have their own like free will essentially. But like, that's not true. The more they explain it, it's awesome. Fucking love it. And also, just if you watch that fight, you're not gonna like it. Like if you don't watch One Piece and you just watch that fight, you're probably not gonna like it. The thematic impact of waiting 600 episodes to see that, amazing. And the fact that I'm trying to be vague, like Luffy wasn't able to fight that he wanted the way that he wanted to, and that's what Gear 4 was. And then Gear 5 is him fighting the way that he wants to, like back in East Blue, is just so good. Oh, it's like it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, but I'm on 1076. Looking forward to seeing like what happens at the end. I kind of have an idea, but and then I am caught up on Solo Leveling. I'm 1 episode behind Daima. I'm on 19, not 20. And like I said earlier, I've maybe read like a couple pages of Black Clover since. I'm really trying to focus to finish Wano. Yeah. But and then I've been playing a lot of Rivals. I now have the Thing Lord.
Nice. The team.
Yep.
What do you think about Super Saiyan 4 not having the belt? People are really upset about that. Like whenever Goku rips off his shirt, it doesn't have the blue belt.
I don't know. That was kind of awesome. I like when he ripped off his shirt.
I love that bit. That was sick. Also, like I saw people like defending it. Obviously,
It's a different Super Saiyan 4. Truly, why would it have like a lot of the same things?
Yeah, and also the belt is there so that the shirt stays down. So if he doesn't have the shirt, what's the point of the belt?
And stay up.
Well, that outfit doesn't. Yeah, you're right, dude. You fucking nailed it, dude. Yeah, you're so smart.
Mm-hmm. But I really like his bigger fist.
Oh, dude, I love the big fist.
Yeah, it's really noticeable in the neck.
Adult, yeah,
like the adult form.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's great.
I like it.
Love the new design.
Bigger punches.
Bigger punches. Yeah, you're not there. You'll see. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna cut this off rather quicker because this is an hour and 33 minutes, and Chandler has to get going. I have to go do something for the next recording. So we're going to do this quick. Quarrel's out before 10 minutes from now in the next episode.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. We'll see you guys next week with National Treasure 2. Goodbye.
Bye. Have a great time.